try and stay close to this. You might be wondering why I'm here. I'm a member of this church and have been for a long time, as I'm looking around, longer than most of you, though not all of you. I do believe in the Unitarian Universalist principles, and in particular, the first and seventh principles. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. No exceptions. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. I'm also here because I'm a Zen teacher. I have a teaching stick and everything, so I'm official. We don't hit people with these anymore. Although I am a Zen teacher, the only thing I really know anything about is my own practice, so that's what I speak about. I practice with the Zen Peacemakers. We have 3 tenets: not knowing, giving up our fixed ideas and paying attention, bearing witness to the situations around us. Bernie Glassman wrote, "When we bear witness, we become the situation. Homelessness, poverty, illness, violence, death. The right action arises by itself. We don't have to worry about what to do. Peacemaking is the functioning of bearing witness. Once we listen with our entire body and mind, loving action arises. And that loving action is the third of the 3 tenets." This morning's story was really a very Zen story and a very Zen peacemaker story. There's nothing mysterious in it. Without any training from a Zen teacher, the boy just paid attention to the situation around him, really looked at it, did what needed doing. The old turtle, the panda's baby. The boy just naturally did what needed to be done. This was a children's story, so some things have been simplified. Besides the panda's miraculous and speedy recovery, the boy didn't have to deal with any person doing harm to anyone. And as we grow up, our world becomes a bigger place. The situation that we're in is more than the person standing right next to us. When we bear witness, when we become the situation, homelessness, poverty, illness, violence, death, public affairs, the political situation, our political leaders. These are things that children don't have to deal with. I should take a moment and say I usually spiffy up for these kinds of events, but I'm getting ready to bear witness in Washington, bearing witness on the streets, spending time with the homeless, panhandling, looking for soup kitchens, looking for restrooms. So we try to get uncomfortable in our own bodies before we do this, and that's why I haven't spiffied up. I'm retired. I'm a lawyer, a retired federal government attorney. So the situation that I'm seeing, the situation that seems so present for me, may be different from the situation that you're finding the most important thing right now. Since I retired, I have a lot more control over how I spend my time and who I spend it with. I encounter homophobia much less often than I did when I was working. And I don't mean my coworkers so much as various miscreants that I was trying to send to jail or punish in some other way. But since I've retired, I am much more aware of the effects of homophobia. As I said, I'm a Zen teacher. And the Zen Sangha, where I, until very recently, was the guiding teacher, has become a home for many people feeling very, very beleaguered. I'd like to read something from the President's executive order. Adoption of a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. A man's assertion that he is a woman and his requirement that others honor this falsehood is not consistent with the humility and selflessness required of a service member. You may have read that, heard it on the news. You know that transgender service members are being pushed out. Well, what do we do? What is the right action? There's no big book of the right actions. You can't look it up. It's what you have to do when you respond to the situation around you. When I serve as the lay worship leader, always I would welcome the congregation. You are welcome here. Whoever you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, you are welcome here. And giving this welcome is something I try to do. Even though those things I just said aren't quite true. We know they're not quite true. We aspire to them. I'm very pleased to see those words in our foyer. I think it's an important part of who we are, and it's what we can do. I'd like to read from another executive order. It is the policy of my administration to restore federal sites dedicated to history, including parks and museums, to solemn and uplifting public monuments that remind Americans of our extraordinary heritage, consistent progress toward becoming a more perfect union, and unmatched record of advancing liberty, prosperity, and human flourishing. Museums in our nation's capital should be places where individuals go to learn, not to be subjected to ideological indoctrination or divisive narratives that distort our shared history. To advance this policy, we will restore the Smithsonian Institution to its rightful place as a symbol of inspiration and American greatness, igniting the imagination of young minds, honoring the richness of American history and innovation, and instilling pride in the hearts of all Americans. Even though we're being gaslighted here, being told that we have never done anything bad, nothing bad has ever been done to you. Well, what is the right action? What do we do? Not a big book with the answers to this question either. I only know my own practice. And that is not looking away. If you've been wondering why that reading was selected, that's why. Not looking away. I'll be going out on the street soon. And I go to the Black Hills and bear witness with Lakota elders, usually spending some time at Wounded Knee, where nothing bad happened. You have to decide what you're going to do. And as you look around at the situation around you, there may be other things that are at the top of your list. But whatever it is you see, I urge you, do not look away.